Hello students, welcome to CMS online classes, and this video is for class 8, chapter number 15, and the name of the topic is some natural phenomena. So in our previous video we talked about different types of natural phenomena like earthquakes, lightnings, okay, and how do they occur. Okay, so we were discussing about lightning first of all, and as we know that lightning occurs due to charged particles in the atmosphere, that can be of clouds, okay, or the gases present in the atmosphere. Then we discussed about this different types of charges. That means positive similar charge, they repel each other, and dissimilar charge, they attract each other. Okay, so we'll further discuss about the charges. So in our previous video we talked about frictional order. That means the things, okay, like hole, funnel, for when charged with the lower orders, what will happen? They will get positive charge ion, okay, and when these the lower order when charged with the higher one, they get the negative charge. Okay, so in our previous video we talked about this thing. So let's move further. So electroscope, what do you mean by electroscope? An electroscope is a device used to test whether an object is having electric charge or not. That means how come we can know that the object like hole or the plastics, okay, or the glass is having an electric charge or not? We can't see the ions, we can't see the charges in them, okay, that means positive charge or negative charge, we can't see, okay, not even by touching we can see. So a simple electroscope can be made by using an empty bottle, a piece of cardboard, a paper clip, the paper clip which we mostly use, and two small strip of aluminum foil. Okay, that means aluminum foil we can get in the market also. We can do this experiment. Pass one end of the paper clip through the cardboard. Okay, that means we can see here on the right hand side. Okay, what will happen? And hang the two aluminum strip from each other. That means we have to hang the aluminum strip or aluminum foil strip towards each other, each end, okay, each other's end. If a charged body is touched to the end of the paper clip, the aluminum strip repel each other. That means they throw. Okay, otherwise if it is repelled, then we can say that yes, the body is charged. But if it doesn't show anything, then we can conclude that the object is not charged. Okay, so we have another experiment also, metal foil. Okay, in a beaker, okay, we can put a metal foil and hang a copper wire and aluminum foil. Okay, as we have done a simple diagram here. Okay, if it is uncharged, it will not move, it will not show anything. But if it is charged, what will happen? It will repel, means it will throw. Okay, and how can we transfer the charge? Transfer of charge. So when a charged body is brought in contact with an uncharged body, charges pass from the charged body to the uncharged body. Okay, I'll give you a basic example of a magnet only. Okay, so what will happen if you put an iron rod, a small one, and just get it attached with the magnet. Leave it for 1 to 2 hours or 1 day whole. Okay, when you remove it and when you touch that, when you pick up that iron and touch with another iron, what will happen? That will also act as a magnet. That means we can say that a charged body, uncharged body, charges passed from charged body. That means it will flow. It can be a fraction of a second also. We can do this experiment using electromagnet also, by applying electricity. Okay, as we have electric bell, that also act as a charged particles. So this method of charging a body is called charging by contact or conduction. Okay, by contact. I have given you example of magnet. Okay, when we keep in contact, then the iron act as a magnet. It act as a temporary magnet, not a permanent magnet, because after certain time it also loses its attracting power. So if a body is charged by contact, it gets the same charge as the charged body. That means the charge will flow from one body to another. So we can observe the transfer of charge by using an electroscope. Same method. If a charged particle rod is brought in contact with an electroscope, the charges are transferred to a metal strip and they repel each other. Okay, that means they get attracted. As for example, when we rub a comb or a plastic thing in our head, that means by contact only, the comb or the plastic object get charged. Okay, so this is because both the metal strip get the same charge and they repel each other. Okay, we will move towards electric discharge. How we can discharge? So if we touch a charged electroscope with our hand, the charge pass through our body to the earth and the metal strip collapse. This property is called electric discharge. Collapse means it will fall down. Okay, because why it falls down? Because we don't have any contact, means it is discharged. Okay, the process of transferring electric charge from a charged body to the earth is called earthing. Okay, it is called earthing, and I will explain you more about earthing. Earthing is provided in building to protect us from electric shock due to leakage of electric current. As for example, sometimes if there is no earthing in the wiring of a building, what will happen? If you touch a electric appliances, say for example if you touch a fan, if it is made up of iron, not of plastics, okay, then you may get a low intensity shock. Why so? Because due to earthing, because our body is also charged. Okay, our body is charged due to flow of blood. Okay, so earthing is provided in building to protect us from electric shock. That means when lightning occurs, those earthing absorb all the negative and positive charge, and the electric appliances along with us are safe from the lightning. Okay, so we can say that earthing is very much important during wiring. Now let's move towards lightning. What do you mean by lightning? We discussed about lightning in a bird's view. That means we didn't explain it. Now we are going to explain lightning. So during thunderstorm, air currents move upwards and water droplets moves downwards. That means the air current move upwards towards the atmosphere and water droplets move downwards. That means, as I told, lightning and thunderstorm only occurs during monsoon when it is raining. Okay, so this movement causes separation of charges in the cloud. Okay, that means cloud are both negative and positive charge, but due to the air current and the water droplets, okay, they get separated. The positive charge collect at the upper part and negative charge collect at the lower part of the cloud. That means in the upper part positive charge are collected and in the lower part negative charge are collected. Okay, so some negative charge collect near the ground also. Negative charge are collected near the ground also. When large amount of charge is formed, then the charge passes from the cloud to the earth, producing streak of light and sound. Okay, we can have a figure here. Okay, there is a cloud in the left figure and the upper part is charged with positive charge, the lower part of the cloud is charged with negative charge, and as we know ground is also positive charge. So this negative charge is attracted with the positive charge. Okay, that means they get attracted and due to that lightning occurs. Okay, a streak of light and sound is produced. Actually light is produced and due to that sound is also produced. The light produced is called lightning and the sound produced is called thunder. That's why he called it a thunderstorm. Okay, so it was Benjamin Franklin. Okay, he was a scientist who first discovered that lightning was electric discharge. That means the separation of charge. Okay, it's not that due to attraction the lightning occurs. Actually it is separation. Separation of what? Separation of positive charged from the separation of negative charge from the positive charge of the cloud. Okay, we can see a figure here. So we can say that it is a electric discharge. Now how lightning conductors? Okay, as I told that in each and every buildings or infrastructures there must be earthing. Okay, that can absorb all the lightning and protect our homes. A lightning conductor is a device used to protect buildings from the damage due to lightning, because lightning causes much more damage. It can destroy the homes. Okay, it can destroy buildings completely. Okay, the lightning conductor has a metallic rod. The upper end is pointed, as we can see here. Lightning rod, the upper end is pointed. Okay, why pointed? To attract the lightning. Okay. And the lower end is joined to a metal plate buried inside the ground, as we can see here. Okay, we have two metallic rod. At the upper end it's pointed and kept on the terrace or on the roof of the building. Okay, and a copper cable is connected with the two metal plate, and inside the ground another metal is what you can say buried. Okay, so when lightning strikes, the electric charges pass through it to the earth without causing any damage to the building. That means when lightning is struck, what happens? The lightning rod, it absorbs all the electric charge, and through the copper cable it passes through the another metallic rod which is buried inside the ground, and the infrastructure or the house or the buildings are safe. Okay, we can see this in many buildings where lightning occurs are common. A lightning, a thunderstorm are common. Okay, so it's very important to make a lightning conductor at big buildings, okay, which are taller. Then how we can protect ourselves from lightning and thunderstorm? Okay, so if you are outside or outside the house, okay, if you are not at home, open vehicles like motorbikes, trucks, open cars are not safe. That means lightning can strike this thing because they all are made up of metals. Okay, they attract the charged particles. Open fields, parks, elevated places, tall trees are also not safe. That means open fields, even parks, even trees are also not safe during lightning. So don't go near the tree to avoid lightning. It can strike it and cause you harm. And elevated places means tall buildings like church, okay, the skyscrapers, okay, these all things. Carrying an umbrella is also not safe. Why? Because the handle of the umbrella is made up of, it's quite thick, okay, pointed at the top, so it can, lightning can strike it. Then if in a forest, take shelter under short trees, not in a tall trees. If in an open field, stay away from trees, as I told you, poles, electric poles, metallic objects. Why metallic objects? Because metallic objects are more attracted to charged particles. Okay, do not lie down. Squat on the ground with hands on the knees and the head between the hands. That means you have to protect your head, okay, and don't completely lie on the ground. Okay. So that was all about protection at outdoors. Now if inside the house, if you are inside the house, what precaution you have to follow? Lightning can strike electric wires, telephone cords and metal pipes, so contact with these objects should be avoided. That means if lightning is struck, okay, don't touch the metal pipes which are on the terrace or at your houses, because they are attracted, because they are good conductors of electricity. That means the charged particles. It is safer to use mobile and cordless phones than wired phones. That means landline. Landline is not safe at all because it is connected through a wire. Electric appliances like TV, computers should be unplugged. That means when lightning strikes and thunderstorm occurs, you simply switch off the light. Okay, simply switch off the computers, the TV, even the fans. Okay, try to minimize the use of the electric appliances. Bathing should be avoided to avoid contacts with running water. Why so? Because running water is a good conductor of electricity. Okay, and that can cause you a shock and even death. Okay, so these all are the precaution that we should follow during lightning and thunderstorm.